Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday night edition of Gaming After Dark. Yes, it is your M-rated podcast on Tuesday nights. That's right. So make sure the kids are bundled up at home and got the cotton earplugs in, because this one's going to get a bit wild. And it's definitely going to be one for the ages tonight, because we not only have, our usual panel of the man who brings the comment back to SEDS, Titan Drago, but we also got the man with the many opinions, Cerebral Paul. But anyway, let's get right into it. And Titan Drago, good evening, and how are you, my friend?
See us doing that vertical shit again.
Yeah, you need to adjust the view there, Noof. Yeah.
All right, boys, let's do it here. No, hey.
Yeah, there we go.
Now
we can see ugly Mag the Fell back there. Yeah, as you guys can see, I got Maggie the Fell behind me. He's going to be the bitch version of Margaret the Fell if they cave in at an easy mode, just to let you guys know. So that's the story behind that. And like Noof said, Noof just said, Noof said, hey, no wonder what happened to your cat's hair, right? Cat's hair is on his head on this picture. So.
Yeah.
Toupee of the day goes to the middle-aged game guy.
I'm so glad you didn't take a still from the video he posted today with him in his underwear. So
Oh my lord, that's hilarious. And the Michael Pachter one. Oh my god.
I had to work 11 hours. I only saw it in skim pad. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I didn't get time today. I was doing parent-teacher conferences today.
Yeah, so. He's got his Wendy wig on, and he's in his boxer shorts or whatever the heck, and he's going right off about the invisible walls and people putting messages up there and shit.
Oh man! Oh,
there's no trap door. Stop telling me there's a trap door.
Oh man, we had a long conversation about that, because we're gonna do some co-op here coming up here later in the week.
Nice.
So I can't wait for that. But yeah, I swear. Oh, and then Iceman came into the chat. We had this whole conversation, and you were a part of it, Noof. And this party chat, we're each playing Elden Ring just on our own, just kind of feeling the game out. And I swear, we had this whole conversation, maybe 5-10 minutes long. And Iceman comes into the chat, and I swear, Iceman is Mag just 10 minutes later. Literally everything we talked about, Iceman brought up, and we talked about it again, man. And Noof, you were a big topic, and the fact that we could feel your pain that we know a part of you wants this game, and then a big part of you, the raging side of you, does not want this game. So we feel your pain, buddy.
Yeah, it does. Because I do look at the videos and I go, my God, it looks amazing. And some of these creatures alone, they have me captivated. There's no question. But I know myself too well. And after trying Bloodborne and after trying Sekiro and watching my blood go right to the ceiling and the curse words galore, and controllers were on the verge of being destroyed into 50 pieces, I was like, I should probably give this up. I don't have the patience level that those games require. It's not dexterity. It's not the same reasons that I don't like it or won't play it like Paul has. But mine is just because I have a bad temper and I have a very low tolerance for games that can be, excruciatingly tough. I mean, I love Cuphead, and for like me, I'll never probably get to the end of that game.
So let me ask you a question real quick. Because I think what makes this game, this is my first Souls game, right? But I think from everything I've heard from the previous games and this one, when I compare and contrast the two, this game, I think what saves it, I know Lucas said she didn't like it, but I think what saves this game for a lot of gamers is the open world aspect.
Right.
Because I could imagine if it's a linear story and you get stuck at a boss, you're just stuck at that boss. You got nowhere else to turn, right? You got to get through that door. You got to get through that boss to move on to the next one. And this one, I got stuck right away. That Margaret the Fell took me 40 attempts to kill.
You got way more patience than I do, Chief.
But I was finding something new out every time I fought. Because you fight him, I fought him pretty early, level 12 or something. It was very early in the game. I went straight to him, started fighting him, and I kept dying. And then I see this summoning thing, and I was like, oh, I could summon this guy? Oh, sweet. And then I got a guy, and then I got him down to half-life. I'm like, all right, well, I do also have these dogs, so I called him, and then I was testing different things of when to summon the dogs out, and I eventually beat him. But I didn't even take a step back
Right.
because the next part that comes up, I had to take a step back and start. That's luckily when I started chatting with Mag and Iceman and a couple other people from the community, and they give me some. They're like, "Man, go explore." Yeah. And I was like, because I figured like if you're going to explore, I figured like follow the way the story takes you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's usually when you go exploring, usually in open world games, like those are the over leveled people, but in this game it's completely opposite. Right. Like you can kill the people exploring around the map, the different beasts and whatnot. Obviously not the other big bosses, but you can get a lot of extra XP and then come back and do what you got to do. I think that's what saved it. I think that's what would save this game for you. Now, so my question to you is, would you, if you were stuck at a boss, when you started getting pissed, would you take a step back and go farm some easier creatures somewhere else on the map?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, absolutely. Build up my HP or whatever the heck it is. Maybe try to find different styles. Just be able to take a breather, so to speak, instead of just being, okay, like you said, you're stuck into a forced roadblock. And another thing that I didn't like, at least I know I can say that with Bloodborne, was it had that long checkpoint system. So, yeah, you got stuck, but then, okay, that was one thing. Is fighting somebody, okay, you're not prepared for, you just don't know how to beat. But then having to go way back to a start of a level and beat all of these NPCs again, like that became tedious. That was the part that almost turned me off. Like, I don't like, it's like the old 80s games. Back in the day, when you lost all your lives, you didn't even start at that level. You start at the fucking beginning of a game. You're right back at the start, and you're like, oh, really? Like, obviously, yes, that was the 80s and 90s. That's how games were built. People didn't know any better. But this is the modern day era, right? There's no excuse now for making a game that's like, yeah, you died 3 times. Screw you, buddy. Start right from the beginning, But yeah, I don't want to. We're going off on a tangent before we even got into the show. Titan Drago, though, it's good to see you here, and I can tell that you're definitely enjoying Elden Ring simply because I've never seen you play any other game this long outside of Smite.
I was going to say, you can't forget Smite.
Yes, I've actually seen him on the Elden Ring, and I was like, oh, he didn't put this down for Smite. It must be gripping him right now.
Yeah, a couple times in the middle of his 40 tries. One more time. Almost got it.
And I love the picture in the background because it literally looks like Mag is getting ready to slice your throat.
Looking over my shoulder all pissed because I just kicked his ass.
Shit. And anyway, welcoming officially back after the first time obviously for 2022 is our good friend and also my co-panel member on Good Morning Xbox, the one and only Cerebral Paul.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. I've been pretty chill so far. Really haven't been playing much, but I did go see Uncharted today, and I watched a new Scream movie today as well. So today was movie day. So it's been a pretty relaxing day so far. Maybe we can change that, and Titan will get me all fired up about something.
Well, you told us off the air before we started the show. First time in 8 months you've been out of the house. So please, dear God, tell me you had a good time. And second of all, please tell me you washed your ass for the first time in at least 8 months.
Oh, maybe that's why I had the theater to myself. Well,
oh my God. Well, it's glad to have you here, Cerebral Paul. We're going to get into some topics. One of them will be the Batman movie, which comes out here in a couple of days.
Yes, sir.
Paul's looking forward to that. And I'm seeing the reviews, which have me optimistically hopeful. And that's another thing, with the Elden Ring, and this is what we talked about this past weekend. I mean, the reviews are like really high and from a lot of great sources. So it just kind of makes, like I said, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are buying this game and are going to try this game simply because the reviews have been too good to sort of ignore. And then the old question is, I hope they know what they're getting into. As one Dark Souls fan said, and it might have been Clowns, I'm not sure, but he said something like, I hope you realize at the heart of the day, it's still a Dark Souls-esque game. It still has the same formula. It's just going to give you, again, as Titan said, maybe a few less walls to run into, but you're still going to have to get good. And you're going to have to put in the time and the effort to learn the game, its nuances, and the various enemy weaknesses to move forward. So,
my roommate bought it on his PlayStation 5 and found out the hard way that Sony's refund policy is there is none once you start the game.
Yes, there is none.
That's why you buy the physical copy and trade it back in. Yeah, even Forte, Gaming Forte, he posted a picture of the copies already turned in. He's like, "Yep, kind of told people that what to expect, but they don't listen."
Nope. I watched my roommate try to play it, and there's like, there is no hand holding, and all the little messages people leave actually confused him even more because secret door here, secret door there, you know, ow that hurts. I mean, useless crap. That people are just it's like that's a system that could be used very well, but it's not. It's being abused right now. So
And there's so much of it. Like, and there was parts that like they try and like screw you too. They try and put it like in front of a ladder so you can't go down the ladder and stuff. Like, people are fucking trolls, man.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
So what was your biggest boss in the Elden Ring? Somebody left a fucking message on the ladder and I couldn't get past it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if anybody's watching and runs into that, the way around that is go to offline mode. All that shit disappears.
There you go. Let's acknowledge the chat real quick here, guys. We got some amazing people in the house tonight. As always, our good friend Timothy Dixon. He is the first man in the room, followed by the always fantastic Doggy Dog 420. What is up, Doggy? Good to see you here, my man. And good to see you guys on Retro Renegades earlier tonight. Shout out to the crew over there. Good man, Graphic God, and all the boys. Yes, always a fun time. Moving on down the line, Spider-Man 356, my brother from Alberta. What's happening, my dude? Good to see you here as well. We also have got some new faces in tonight, but we see Dravenero, Toolman 55. I don't recall if he's been in the chat before. We got the Bearded Banga. What's going on, Bearded Banga? Good to see you here. We got the Boss Mod, Lethal Papa getting ready to throw down at a moment's notice in case things get wild and wacky. But however, this one is pretty tame for the most part. Hey, the always fantastic Pong Soul is in the building. What is going on, Mr. Pong? Good to see it. Pure Flack Monkey, how hello. Casket Repair, what's going on? Yes, Doggy Dog dropping the first super chat of the night. 199. Gad time. Woo! Love y'all. I can hear him say that. Vic the Click. Love the name. Good to see you here, Vic. Ryan Galloway, what's going on, brother? Good to see you back in Alberta. Your trip down to Arizona went well, and you had fun golfing, and it's good to see you back. The blue one, Kylo Milo, Pang 911. Nix is in the house. Chase Jones, what's happening, brother? Good to see you here as well. Dr. Dinglenut, what's going on? Hey, our good brother Dragonheart Yobi's in the building. What's happening, Dragonheart? Good to see you as well. Crazy Greek dude, what's going on? HCK 360, Gone Mad, Invader Gaming, Matt Burns. How many more? Chase Jones.
Gone Mad was in the chat with us. He's got a wealth of knowledge already about this game too. He helped me out. He helped me get a better staff than the starter staff, so that was huge.
You bet. Mike Mullis, what's going on, Mr. Mullis? Good to see you here, my friend. Gone Mad, yes, good to see you here as well. Matty Burns, like I said, everybody's here, man. Good stuff. Anyway, let's roll right along. First topic of the night. Obviously, it's just about cloud gaming. Flight Simulator finally coming to the Xbox One. People said it couldn't happen, and technically, I suppose it was true. But it is now coming out for the older Xbox console, to the smiles and dismay of those who still have not upgraded yet. But it's all courtesy, the power of the cloud. We've seen this happen for the Nintendo Switch. We're now seeing it happen on the Xbox. What do you guys think about it? And I guess the biggest question about this: will the cloud eventually be? Will this eventually basically replace console gaming, do you think, guys? Because it is starting to become more and more frequent, and as it gets adopted more and more, there is that slight possibility, because it essentially does all the hardware lifting without all of the the bells and whistles and all the things that basically go wrong with hardware-based software and stuff. So what do you think about that? I think Paul's ready to chomp at the bit on this one. What do you think, Paul? I mean, obviously, first of all, it's good that it's coming out for Xbox One. The older people get the chance to play this, or people that haven't adopted yet. But yeah,
I think if consoles do go away, I think it's going to be in at least 20 years, because we're not just talking about the big cities in the United States or just the United States. We're talking about Wi-Fi access and wireless access for everybody, before it becomes where we don't need consoles anymore, where xCloud becomes usable by everybody. Because even now, there are some people in some cities where xCloud their connectivity isn't good enough to drive some of the heavier games. So At some point it'll happen. It probably won't be in my lifetime because I'll be like 80 years old. I won't care anymore, So and Titan will be like 50, and he may still care.
Starlink may be closer than you think.
Maybe. But like I said, when you think about outside the box, when you think about other countries and stuff, it's not just us.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking it's going to take longer than, it's not 5 or 10 years out, definitely.
No, but I'm thinking of from the standpoint of, like, you look at these console manufacturers, there's a lot of things that have to happen, and we see what happens too when you're trying to carry over games from generation to generation. And despite what people say, the scaling and stuff like that, but obviously older hardware isn't meant to run great games, at least not natively the way that they're meant to be played. And that's just the fact. It's always been that way. Yes, some will run, but they have to make a lot of concessions. This way, it takes out of the equation altogether, and it might even, help more sales of games in the long haul. Now, I'm not for it. Let me get that straight. I'm not a big fan of streaming or cloud, whatever. But it could propel more sales of games because, again, people aren't limited to going out and buying a $400 box or $600 box and coming home and wondering if the damn thing is going to work. The cloud should work, again, as long as your internet connection and all of those other variables are at least compliant.
Yep. I mean, I almost wish I still had my 1X because I would love to try to do Flight Simulator when it drops on the 1X, when it drops on the cloud, to see how well it runs or doesn't run. But then again, I have a really good, internet connection here. So I'm not going to complain because I know that my internet connection is great. I'm not the customer that needs to be tested. You know what I'm saying? Not here anyway. Back when I was in Houston, maybe, because I only was getting 50 down, 70 on a good day. So.
Right.
So, like I said, I think connectivity is going to play into a lot. I'm going to have fun watching some of the responses and trying to dig through the trolling to see what the real responses are when it drops.
Yeah. I can tell you, when I went out to Niagara Falls last winter and I played Halo via the cloud on my phone, it wasn't the cloud that was my problem at that point. My problem was playing on a little screen. It was pretty hard to see people on a freaking 3.5, 4-inch cell phone screens. I was like, yeah, this is a little bit tough for me to do on this. The controller was great, having my Xbox controller, but I just couldn't see shit. But it ran pretty damn good. And that's the thing. It ran good and it looked fine. And I'm like, this is freaking cool. So, while it will never be my primary, it definitely is certainly an option. And I've said this many times, and you can mark my words, in 5 years, Game Pass is going to be installed on probably a vast majority of televisions out there. And I can definitely see them being installed on Samsung TVs because of the relationship that Samsung and Microsoft have had for a very long time. So, Titan, take it away. What's your thoughts?
All right, so I'm going to say eventually. Eventually is the key word. Eventually. I'm going to say that word eventually a few more times. Eventually, hardware will be no more. But with how gaming just keeps growing, keeps getting more efficient with the hardware that they develop every new generation, hardware is going to be around for the foreseeable future. I've said it years ago in the past, and it still remains my opinion that hardware is going to be around until we run out of the silicon necessary. Now, xCloud it's very impressive. And it has closed that window substantially with how good streaming is right now, and streaming is in its infancy. So,
Titan, you should
what's
read
that?
this. You should read out. This is from Doggy Dog.
What does Doggy say here? In the next generation. That's right.
Oh, that's right. You did that on the first show I was on. The earwax fell out of my ear after that one. Yeah.
He remembers that one. Yeah, that's going back, ain't it? Yeah. Doggy, the long time Titan Drago follower, man. I think that's awesome.
He was waiting for you to do that. You know that, right? That's what.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't even know what the hell that is. So.
Don't encourage him, Doggy. At least not while my headphones are on. Jesus.
In the next generation. But in my opinion, I think Xbox probably could skip the rest of the console generations as is. with how good, even in its infancy, xCloud is, but Phil's at the helm right now, and he's not going to let, he knows how many fans he would lose if he did such a thing. And my reason is that mainly it's the fanboys that would prevent this, and the fanboys on the other side, as well as the hardcore fans of Xbox. Phil Spencer's made a very successful career of shutting down fanboys and shutting them the fuck up. It started with Crap Gamer when he slapped him in the face, for everyone to see years ago on Twitter. And he attacks narratives like to the point, that there's no debating that Xbox is like it's pro-consumer. They retain the power narrative since he said they were going to, since the Xbox One X, since the Scorpio. So they've held that for how many years now? The power narrative, and then people are attacking and say Xbox got no games. Well, and now they're all of a sudden you turn around and people are crying monopoly on him. So he's attacked every narrative there is. What's that?
I was gonna say, I'm finding it kind of funny how, there are various people on social media that are quick to jump all over when Xbox drops a frame or something less than the PlayStation version. But then after the first patch comes out, it's like, yep, Xbox is definitely the way to go here. It's just like, what? They're kind of like, I should have took that. I should have deleted that tweet.
Yeah, and it's like, how many times has that happened already, right?
A lot.
It's happened probably 10 times already. So,
what's funny is anytime they think they can delete a tweet and it's gone, they're wrong because somebody has recorded that sucker.
That's right. Yeah. Someone screenshot that shit. Screenshot dumb shit all the time. I just never remember to bring it back up again. I probably mute them or block them because, like, man, I can only handle so much stuped in a day.
I have done that though. I've screenshotted something, but I'm gonna hang on to this because this is not gonna age well.
Well, they left you a plethora of ammunition out there to screenshot, that's for sure. Well, pretty much anything NBG says, pretty much anything Crap says, pretty much anything
J-Dub, yeah.
Oh,
keeps on
God.
going. There's a handful of them out there that definitely, oh boy. That's all I'm going to say. Oh boy. Got to put my head down and shake. My God. Cesspools, I tell you. Jesus, I asked a simple question this morning.
And yes, I am still awake. Yes, it is past my bedtime. It's past 5:30. So,
But he's about, as you can see by his background, he's just about moments away from donning his cowl and heading into the yonder.
I gotta go to work tonight.
Wheelman. Oh shit.
And you know what? As far as and the type of game matters too, because like, let's say turn-based games could easily be done on the cloud right now. Like, you could eliminate physical copies like that and play it on the cloud. Eliminate downloading with turn-based games. Just nothing multiplayer, nothing that requires as little latency as possible. So any just single player campaign game out there, you could probably do it with.
I can't see trying to do big team battle on Halo. Strict everybody on the cloud. Oh my God.
I wonder how that would work though. I'm curious to even try that because I have used the cloud a few times for a few different games. They've all been single player, so I haven't tried it multiplayer yet.
Yeah, try it.
But
with
even
Smite.
playing.
Try with Smite.
Oh God. No, I need all the help I can get trying to carry bad randoms. But when I did play it on the single player games, once in a while you could tell when because my internet it's good when it wants to be, but once in a while it'll drop to kilobytes per second.
Ooh,
for a few seconds.
Good. Yeah, that's not good.
And you could tell it chugs along for a few seconds. And when that happened, when I was streaming, the whole screen kind of went digital.
Yep.
And then it popped back in after a few seconds. But could you imagine playing Smite like that, or playing Battlefield, or or Call of Duty that?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
Oh God, I would rage. I'm very competitive, and that's just working against you, man. You don't need that in them competitive games. So what do you think, Noof? What's your ETA on cloud tech taking over the hardware space?
like I said, it really depends. It's definitely a ways out, but at some point in time, it's going to become more prominent, and that's just it, right? They're easing us all in essentially at the end of the day, and people don't realize it, but we're basically crash test dummies for the industry. They're trying to see how far we'll go, how much money we'll spend, and how much they can get away with before finally either somebody complains or what have you. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. It's kind of like it's like any type of technology. It either gets mass adoption and people love it, or they kind of hate it, or eventually they just fall in love with when it's eased into play. Because I mean, if you look at the Connect, okay, and this is one I always come back to. Everybody hated, well, I shouldn't say hated Connect, but there were a lot of people that had their complaints, and they were scared to death that Connect, all the games are going to be Connect, they're all going to be motion controlled, and this, that, and something else. But it's really funny, right? Xbox took the brunt for being sort of ahead of the curve with Connect, and now every other damn company in the world is pretty much using the same shit that Connect innovated with. They're using motion control and hand gestures and voice commands. Sony's doing it now, and you see, basically Alexa and all that tech is more or less based off of stuff that Connect fostered in, but back when Xbox did it, the governments are spying on us, man. They're going to see me when my dick is hanging out in the middle of the evening. So I think cloud will be much the same. It'll get in a little bit by little bit. I mean, obviously Xbox is testing water for their service. I mean, it's intended more for the portable audience to get into the mobile space, but because mobile has such a vast, and it's very important with mobile because we see there's a vast discrepancy in the type of phones that people use. Some are super powerful, some are very low end, and at the end of the day, it's games that have to run on a variety of devices, and that's no different really with PC. And that, the fact that Flight Simulator is even going to now run on an older Xbox, yes, not technically because it is through the cloud, but that's still impressive now that they're being able to bring out a technologically advanced game for very inferior hardware that shouldn't even be able to blink in its direction. Yeah. And you're going to be able to play it. So they're going to open this up to more people. And again, that's going to become on more devices. We're going to see it on phones. We're going to see it through televisions. We're going to see it on a lot of things. And when it runs well enough, when it's to the point of not only mass adoption, but it's going to get to mass adoption through being, it's going to have to run well enough. Everybody's internet connections are going to have to be solid enough. The servers and stuff that they're running things on are going to have to be solid enough where the fail rate or sort of the downtime, so to speak, is a very, very small percentage. It can't be noticeable. That's the point. As long as it's overly noticeable, it's going to drive people away. But when it gets to the point you don't even think about it anymore because it's like your internet, right? Remember a couple of years ago when internet was still coming around? Like, how many times did our internets drop? How many times did we run a podcast and fuck, this shit dropped out or the service dropped down and everything went wonky or it ran at like 320p and it back up and we're always swearing? I know even since I came into the podcast game, my internet and my podcast and the stream consistency is a hell of a lot better now than it was 5 years ago. Like, way better. Now to the point where I've run Gaming After Dark and Good Morning Xbox for what now? For GAD, it's been what, 2 years, over 2 years? And we've hardly had a single episode where technology has hindered us from doing the show. Now, remember when YouTube was running, what was the one that they had for the background? What was it called? Hangouts? Remember how bad that used to be? Audio cutting in, show shutting down, constant. That thing was horrendous. It was bad. Like, so often people are like, man, they got to come up with something better than this. That was terrible. Bad audio quality, bad visual quality. So this is what I'm saying. So it's still a ways out and no reason for people to panic. Hardware's not going away anytime soon. The thing that will definitely go away sooner than later is probably the disk drives. I don't expect those to stick around a lot longer. When you start to look at the digital adoption rate is now is hovering at around 80%.
You look at years ago it was 100% chance you would get a console with a disk drive. Now you're down to 50%.
Yep.
Yeah, not even.
And really
also,
powerful
there's another side of this conversation none of us has mentioned. If the internet for whatever reason goes down, if you have an outage in your area, you have no local storage, so you have no online play. You have no play. So until they can find a way to overcome that, and I don't know that they ever will, there's going to have some way to store at least some games locally so you can play, or else you're just cut off. I mean, and that would suck.
Oh, you know what? It will be. Trust me, they'll find a way to charge you for that storage, Paul. Anything's possible if you're willing to pay the price. Oh, so let's charge you, let's give you an ultimate subscription fee at $20 a month, which now comes with some sort of storage per se, even if it's virtual storage.
Sony already makes you pay to save your games. So,
It's funny. I was talking to the guys about this, making this new PlayStation podcast. It's funny because somebody chimed in and said, every time you do a super chat, it's got to be $10. $10 or we don't read it. And I busted the gut laughing. I was, oh my God, it's too fucking funny.
Funny thing is, even if shit does work as it should, streaming wise, people are still going to cry foul if the possibility is out there. Especially multiplayer gamers, man. Right. How many times have you heard in a multiplayer game of either Call of Duty or whatever multiplayer game that you're playing, right? Yeah. How many times have you heard people say, "Fuck, I'm lagging," Even sometimes they are, but a lot of times they're not. It's just, I don't know. It's just like that human natural reaction sometimes when a competitive player dies, to spit out some stuff like that. And oh man, people will run with that like crazy. Oh, and Spider-Man in the chat. Spider-Man, you will die before Smite, okay? Take that how you want, but mark my words.
He's really going after you today. Yeah, I can see that.
Mark my words, man. You will die before Smite. How scared are you now? All right.
Well, Titan, you do know you have mod powers in here. Starts putting them all on timeout. God say you.
Can I filter the word smite out of his vocabulary?
Yeah. Anybody says smite,
make a bad word to the bot. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Shit. Anyway, like I said, we're glad. There's not much. Like I said, this is a small topic. I just wanted to kind of get your, kind of feel us went out and see how everybody felt about it. And like I said, man, the future comes quickly, but yet some of these things are definitely a ways off. And we see already the big strides forward with technology. We see how well the Xbox Series S is doing for Xbox right now. A fantastic what do you call it? A combination of power and price, and that's part of it hitting the sweet spot. I don't know, a lot of people questioned that move over a year ago, but it's starting to look like a genius move on their part now. A lot of people have adopted the Series S and have no regrets about it, really. And why not? I mean, unless you're really gung-ho on playing 4K, the Series S can get the job done.
We got two of them in our house. We're probably going to get a third. Also, Splendiferous, Smite the ultimate NFT, he said. It's funny that you say that, because it's actually, if you think about it, it's actually worse than an NFT. Because, let me explain why. Because, all right, in NFT, you have digital rights to that, right? Well, what Smite does is, once a season, they come out with one skin, and it's a tier 5 skin. And it essentially costs $100 if you're not efficient.
Oh no!
If you don't buy it if you don't buy gems on a sale, if you don't do the quests, at max it's $100. I usually pay probably somewhere around $60 for it. But once you that skin is only available for a certain amount of time, and then it's never available again. So it is kind of NFT, but more than one person gets it, right? Whoever gets it in that time frame.
Yeah, anytime you see that skin, some sucker's been pinched for at least $60.
At least, that's right.
Oh, shit.
And I think
by the way,
three
Tony,
of them.
when I look at that picture of Mag up there, I'm thinking he's going to call out and tell us we got to go kill Flash Gordon. It's so.
Anybody missing a toupee? Because Mag has it. Oh shit! Oh my god! Too funny, man. Too funny. Deb, everybody's taking shots at you here. Debka, people still play Smite. Oh my god!
Debka, who the fuck are you, man?
He's Debka.
You gotta say hi to me first before you talk trash about my game, man.
That's right. You gotta give him a little kiss before you share him a little piss,
or at least say Cerebral Paul sucks or something. Get on my good side.
Don't talk foul about our guests. All right. Before we probably get into the next topic, because we don't have a ton of topics tonight, let's do the Ask Arnold segment. Let's get him in here and out of the way. Where we're literally at the 40-minute mark of the show, so to give everybody a chance to unwind and get going. Again, shout out to the chat. Iceman, Splendiferous, what's going on? Six Slayer, good to see you. Tony Grasso, Splendiferous. What's going on here, guys? We got Jesse Derby up in the house here. Who else we got? Like I said, Lethal Papa still hanging out with us here as well. Yeah, man, great crew tonight. Thank you. 43 people in the house watching us live. Red Pool, what's going on?
Depka, Titan Drago doesn't play Caterpillar Simulator. He plays Human Centipede Simulator. It's a different thing.
I play Felching Simulator.
There you
go.
go.
That would probably happen if you were part of the Human Centipede, let me tell you. Better check his lips for stitch marks over there. All I can say, if you're going to be in the Human Centipede, you better pray to God you're at the head and not the back. If you've never seen those movies before, Google them or watch them, or probably don't, because you will. Yeah. Oh boy. Yes, thank God we're going to talk about a good movie tonight. In a minute anyway, or at least supposedly good. But anyway, let's get to the Ask Arnold. Who's got their questions ready? Anybody on the panel or the chat? Royal Boyle, what's good?
Arnie, what if after Batman's been out for a couple weeks, what if it surpasses you in popularity and whatnot?
It's not going to happen. Batman is not going to beat me in the popularity because I've done so many great characters in my life. So, you know what? The thing is, Batman is so artificial that every time to do a movie, they got to go hire a new actor. They've had Michael Keaton. They've had, they've had George Clooney. They've had Val Kilmer. They've got this squeaky little weasel guy there now, Robert Pattinson. And they've had, Christian Bale. There's so many different Batmans. I'm the one and the only Arnold. And I have done all of these movies. I've done Conan. I've been the Commando. I've been Danny DeVito's big brother. You know what I mean? I have done so many great films. I do lots of the Terminator. You guys love that one. So, no, there's no way, no matter how much this movie do at the box office, they're not going to replace me because I am the reason you want to come watch the movies. Because I put the butts in the building, baby. That's what I do here.
All right, well, let's take those Terminator movies, for example. How many Terminator movies did you share the spotlight with another Terminator?
That don't suck. I'm still the original. I'm the T-800. I'm the old bony bastard, and I get the job done whether I'm young, old, I'm naked or bald. I'm out there kicking ass, taking names, going to get the Sarah Connor. I don't care about liquid metal Mario motherfucker, what the hell is. And, I would melt him down and drink him in my coffee. That's what I would do.
You haven't been bony for about the last 25, 30 years.
No, these other ones, they're not ever going to be the original. And you know what? There's nothing as good as the original. That is the bottom line here.
Yep.
The CPU is not filtering out that fat anymore. We got one from Masshole 1977. Arnold, what do you think about Noof getting a PS5 again? Noofonomics.
Oh, the Nukem, I don't understand that guy. What the hell is he thinking? You buy it to get rid of it, buy it to get rid of it. I mean, what the hell, man? And this is not the local hooker you got here. What the hell? And eventually you got to keep something in your life. I swear to God, what is wrong with you? Stop buying your shit and selling your shit and then complaining that you sold your shit. That's not what the hell is wrong with you. I'm going to smack you, Nukem. You're weird. That's what you are. Your Noofonomics is backfiring on you, and stop trying to sell it to me because I'm not going to buy it, you crazy bastard.
You want to save physical copies, Noof? Get people to mass adopt Noofonomics. You will have physical copies for life. Corporations will love you.
Yes, GameStop, they love Nukem. He puts all the games on their shelf in there. They give him like 5 cents and he gives them $40 game. That's how it works. My God, it's brutal. Nukem, how much money you have to losing over there? I'm not going to loan you anymore, you piece of shit. Get back in your hole.
Toolman55 says, hey, Arnold, who would win in a Smite match? Arnold versus Titan Drago.
It would have to be Titan Drago because first of all, you never fucking catch me playing the game, so he would beat me by default. It wouldn't show up there.
He would.
Yo, Arnold, what's your favorite body part to work out from Dr. Dinglenut?
Well, the PG version of me is obviously going to be the biceps. You know, I was known for having the biggest peak, but I can honestly tell you, outside of when I'm not in the gym, you know exactly what body part that I'm into working out. Indeed. Yes.
Indeed. Do we got any more questions for
Any more questions?
the man himself?
Well, we got one from Splendiferous.
Did I miss a Splendiferous one?
I see.
It's right here.
Hey, Arnold, would you smash Sarah Connor while Paul is watching?
Oh, dear.
He had to add a caveat to that.
Oh, God, I do that. Oh. I don't want Paul watching any part of me doing anything. I don't even know if I want Paul watching me cooking.
Yeah, don't drag me into that train.
No.
Don't drag me into
Paul is only going to sit there and he's either going to make fun of me or he's going to bitch the whole time, and I'm not really up for that. So no, I don't want Paul sitting out there watching me having sex with Sarah Connor, because I can hear Paul saying now, like, I'm going to spread the Febreze in here, you dirty fuckers. And I'm like, I'm going to kick you down the stairs. You're going to roll out of here.
Oh.
Shit. All right. There you go. So there's our questions of the night. Did I get to everybody? All right. We got a super chat, though, coming in from Splendiferous. He drops $2. Tell Paul to rub his cheeks. I want to see if he jiggles.
I don't jiggle. Thank God.
So tell Paul he needs to get he could get a job as Santa Claus when that beard gets long.
Yeah, I could.
Absolutely. How long has your beard gotten? Have you grown it out ever?
My beard doesn't grow long; it grows puffy. So yeah, because I can leave it for a month and it never seems to get very long. So
it just curls up then.
Yeah, basically.
Well, Santa Claus has some curls in his beard, I guess.
Kind of a bummer because if I there are times I wished I could look like one of the guys from Duck Dynasty, but you
gotta comb it. Do you comb it?
Well, it just still curls up. Even if I comb it out, it still stays tucked up. It just gets thicker. So, yeah. I'm just too lazy to shave. It's the only reason I have one right now. So.
All right. Yes. Don't worry. Cletus might stop in later, Jesse Darby. Jesse loves Cletus, and he said to me the other night, there's not enough Cletus. So we'll have to bring Cletus in at least for a minute later on, for sure. But let's get to the next topic of the evening, the Batman. It is just about here after many months in production, and of course COVID delays and everything under the sun. Yes, Robert Pattinson has donned the cowl. Some will always notoriously associate him with Twilight, but yes, the man has some acting chops, and he's proven it time and time again with various films outside of the Twilight saga. But like I said, unfortunately, people can typecast a person pretty quickly. It has nothing to do with Twilight. Well, I was not cool with his whole portrayal, but it's like everything. You got to give people a chance to prove themselves right or wrong. Criticizing people before you've even seen a film is not the right way to go. It's like criticizing a game you haven't played. It shouldn't do that either. It's either not for you. Like if you're not a fan of superhero movies, you're probably not want to go see the Batman either. But you should obviously give it its due, and maybe it'll surprise you, because I can honestly say I've been surprised by a lot of movies that I thought were going to be bad, or actors who I had typecast off in a role. Had two proved me wrong already. Daniel Craig proved me wrong as James Bond. I absolutely loved him. As a matter of fact, he became my favorite James Bond. And, even Ben Affleck, who I vehemently was like, my God, I do not want him in the Batman series. He impressed me, especially as the Dark Knight himself. So, yeah. What do you guys, anybody here in the chat, and most importantly on the panel, Paul and Titan, are you guys excited about this? And does the hype grow now that the reviews are coming out and it's getting some phenomenal scores? As a matter of fact, IGN, who is notoriously strict with a lot of their movie reviews and rarely ever give anything a good review score when it comes to movies, they've given it a 10. And I can't even remember the last time I've seen a movie of this ilk get a 10. What's your take, guys?
Well, I want to know which writer from IGN did that, because there's a lot of bad ones.
Let's find out who the reviewer was. It is by Alex Stedman, and she is a girl.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Seems like somebody new on the scene, but either which way, it sounds like. Well, the title is The Batman Review: Bruce Wayne's Beautiful Nightmare. I'm hearing good things about Paul Dano and his chemistry on the set. Paul Dano, definitely surprising is his portrayal of the Riddler. That's pretty cool. Zoe Kravitz is Batgirl, not Batgirl, or Catwoman, sorry. And I know Zoe Kravitz. I've seen her in a few movies, and she's awesome. Plus, she's not hard on the eyes either. So, yeah. I don't know. What you think? Who's excited for it? Does this get you a little bit more excited, perhaps?
Yeah, the thing is, go ahead, Paul.
I was gonna say I am excited for it because I'm a sucker for superhero movies, good, bad, or indifferent. But the Batman is one of my favorite characters. And the more I've seen of it, the more it looks interesting. I don't think anything's ever gonna top The Dark Knight for me, or any of Christian Bale's movies. But we'll see what happens. I think one thing Pattinson will do well is the brooding side of Batman. He broods very well. He's got the brooding down. I question his ability to portray Bruce Wayne more than I do to portray Batman. Is he? Are we going to see enough of a separation between the two characters like we did with Christian Bale and even with Michael Keaton way back in the day? So that's my big thing. And I've just seen some more of the review, the footage today while we were at the movie, and I will probably go see it next week. As a matter of fact, that's right. I'm leaving the house twice in 2 weeks, so be impressed. So I am looking forward to it. I saw one review that said they do a fine job with it, except the old stage is welcome. Be warned for those of you with bladder issues. This is the longest superhero movie to date. It is gymongous. It's pushing on 3 hours. So if you you might want to take an empty cup with you when you go in the theater. Other than that, yeah, I am looking forward to it because Pattinson was in other stuff that we forget about besides, and he did a fine job. He was actually even in some of at least one of the Harry Potters, So,
is it true that you actually bought a hydration bag to piss in during the movies?
Right. Get that catheter going.
So yeah, I never see the hose to his face. Somehow it's going into his pants. It's like a catheter hooked up. Piss in the bag. I need a drink, man. Oh, crap.
There was backlash with Ledger. I don't remember that, but Ledger did an incredible job as a Joker.
Some people didn't like Ledger either. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, because Ledger had notoriously really up until that role, he didn't have a whole lot of serious roles. He was more known for some of the output stuff, Nobody ever really disliked him, but it's just I guess and everything.
He was the son in The Patriot as well. He was the older son in The Patriot, which is where I knew him from. But yeah, it was a totally different take on the character. The one I remember is Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom as Batman. They cast two as Batman. One, he's like 5 foot nothing, and two, he has no chin. They actually had a prosthetic chin for Keaton, when he was in the cowl to give him more of a face.
Yeah.
So if he does a great job, great. I mean, this may be what he needs to kind of break out of that whole. Oh, he's that guy from the glittery vampire movie, So, Dreadpool, I will hurt you when I meet you, and I'm meeting you sooner than you think, and you know that.
Well, I like this part that comes from this particular review. Whenever Pattinson and Dano face off, it's impossible to look away. As for Dano, Riddler is easily the best live-action Batman villain since Heath Ledger's Joker, which is quite the statement. This is far, far, far cry from the previous most famous Riddler performed by Jim Carrey, with Reeves putting a modern murder spin on the wordsmith that heavily influenced by real-world Zodiac killer. Dano sinks into this unhinged genius killer with terrifying realism. Seriously, Dano managed to give me chills with a single eye movement in one scene. The best Batman villains are the ones who challenge at least 2 or 3 of his mind, morals, and body, and this Riddler puts the first 2 to the test.
Yeah.
Whenever passes Dano face off, it's impossible. And that's high praise. That's some pretty cool stuff.
The only picture I've seen of Dano as the Riddler looked like he was a bum wearing a sackcloth, hat. and I was like, that's not the Riddler, you know. But
Well,
yeah, we'll
yeah,
see.
that might be the farthest the thing. Like this movie really takes away the sort of the more modern portrayals we've seen. It kind of grounds it in more of I don't know, a gritty, dark feel, like you said, because he doesn't look like those really high, bright spandex wearing
Right.
Riddlers, and even Batman. If you look at the suit, or even look at the latest Batmobile, this Batmobile is nothing like we've seen before. It's really more grounded as a real car. I don't think we've seen anything even
Right.
close to that since the 1960s Batmobile, which hence
Actually,
had a more real car look to it.
Keaton's Batmobile was based on a real car, and if you ever saw the real car, you could say, okay, that's Keaton's Batmobile. Because I actually had a friend who owned the same model. So if you go back and look at that car, it looked pretty realistic. It didn't look like there was anything very special about it,
Right.
you know. But yeah, then you got into like the stuff that Christian Bale drove, and you went, yeah, that's not realistic. They're not like they're gonna have a stealth tank going down the freeway, knocking cars out of the way, and not notice it, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, the
Yeah.
Tumbler, that was quite the beast, but
I love the
no,
tumbler, but yeah, there's no stealth in the tumbler. You know,
no,
There's
no. The bike was pretty cool.
the bike was awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Tyrone Israel, welcome to the chat. And he says the biggest criticism he heard, or the only criticism, has been that the movie is quite long. He said it's hovering at the 3 hour mark, isn't it, or
Yeah.
over? But yeah, and thank God this movie is well and not going to rehash the whole parents' death thing. They're just going to assume that everybody obviously knows what you do, like they're dead, and they're kind of going to get on with it. Thank God, because I hate seeing every time they kind of do a reboot, they always go back and do that same crap. I think we're all over the origin stories for any superhero movie, let alone Batman.
Yeah, from what I understand, this puts him earlier in his career, like around 28, 29, when he's supposed to first take the call. So,
Yeah, Titan, you're silent. No hype for this or what?
Oh, I got hype.
no, we
When
said
you posted,
hype, not smite, hype.
oh well, then no, got hype for Smite. No. The question you posted in the DMs was, what makes a good superhero movie, and to me, you have to care about someone, either one of the characters or all the characters, and I love being surprised by like a surprise death. That always helps a movie for me. Something that catch you by surprise. The feel of the movie matters. You mentioned it earlier. You literally took the words right out of my mind, Noof, because lately the darker theme has been catchy and liked by the majority of the population. Like Joker with
Right.
Joaquin Phoenix, that had a darker, more serious tone, and it hit hard, right? We already talked about Heath Ledger's Joker, which was easily the darkest version of Joker, and it was legendary. And it's too bad we lost him, because wow, what could have, what more could we have gotten from his gritty ass Joker, right?
Yeah.
But as far as like Robert Pattinson goes, he has big Batman boots to fill historically. Lots of I've seen a lot of people that they said they couldn't see him as a great Batman, but just initially, like without seeing anything about the movie, I prefer him over Ben Stiller, and this is why.
Ben Stiller. I think
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Batman is Ben Stiller.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Was that in the running? Wow, that.
Ben Stiller. Ben Affleck, sorry.
Oh,
No, good. What's that Ben Stiller movie where he's the model? Oh my god.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Like, he does that look, you know what I mean? Oh, it's not catching me on the camera. I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you're like the ghost of Titan Drago and I. They're fading in and out. Oh, there he comes. There he goes.
Zoolander, yeah.
Zoolander, that's fucking hilarious. No, but before I lost my mind there, Ben Affleck, because to me, Batman needs ninja moves, right? And Ben doesn't even look like he can touch his toes when stretching. So Like that was a big disconnect with him and myself when I try to picture Batman in my mind. And when you picture a Batman in your mind and he comes up on the screen as this, he was big, he was hulky. All right, cool. But he didn't do any really fantastic moves, when Ben Affleck was portrayed. I hated just that part about him. Like it was an immediate disconnect. Like to me, that's not what Batman looks like at all. Every other Batman looks like they can do ninja moves, including Robert over here.
Right.
Well,
it's funny though, because the last two guys who played Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, obviously Christian Bale and Ben Affleck, both of them put on some serious muscle for the role, which is crazy. And it's kind of funny because before Robert Pattinson got in, he actually said he kind of refused to do the whole working out bit, just kind of stay himself, just a slender bender over here,
Well, and remember, Christian Bale did it right after he had done the movie where he had lost all that weight. I forget the name of the movie where basically he put on like 40 or 60 pounds or something.
Actually, he did Batman Begins, and then he did that movie. He actually put on the muscle and then lost all of his muscle, and that's why if you look at him, he was noticeably smaller when he did The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Christian Bale was my second favorite after Keaton. Like to me, you can't replace Keaton. He's the first Batman I saw growing up, and forever he's like just ingrained in my mind as Batman. But he did a really good job of. I liked his Batman a lot. But you mentioned the parents dying, right? And another thing is like, I don't want to be told the same story again and again and again. Like they need to hit the story from new angles that we didn't see coming. And thank God that with a 3-hour movie, thank God they at least cut the parents dying the whole section out of it. Yeah. At least we don't got to listen to that for however many minutes that would have been in the movie. And that's
right.
That's probably why a lot of people are marking this so good, because they're not telling the same story over in a different way.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, and this from my point of view, because I'm older than both of you, I knew the Batman story. I've known the Batman story for a long time. So when especially in The Dark Knight with Harvey Dent, I knew he was going to become Two-Face. But the way they handled it in the movie was kind of a new way, and it made it interesting to watch the actor go from being Harvey to being Two-Face. And it was very well done. I just watched it last week, as a matter of fact. I mean, yeah, it's the same story I've seen multiple times, but it was so well done. It was like, okay, this is cool. I can watch this again. But yeah, with the death of the parents thing, there's only so many ways you can do that, because everybody knows they were at a theater, they were walking home, and boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
So.
And we've seen that story skewed anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, I think ultimately too with this movie, it's interesting, like I said, because he's chosen a very different style to the movie. It's very gritty, it's very dark, it's based sort of in realism, and the people, like I said, that they picked for the actors it's interesting, because you've got, I mean, obviously Robert Pattinson, who probably wouldn't have been most people's first pick as the Dark Knight, based on just probably appearance alone, nothing to do with his past roles, right? But just on appearance. And then you got Zoe Kravitz, who's now she's a black Catwoman. You've got Commissioner Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, who's a black Commissioner Gordon. And, like Paul Dano, not exactly, I've seen him in a few movies, but not exactly the kind of guy when you heard he was casted to really go, what? Paul Dano? It's just, there's the whole casting just kind of throws you for a loop. And I'm not against any of them being in the roles, because at the end of the day, as long as they can act, it really matters not what color or ethnicity they are. I mean, as long as they come out and bring it.
Yep.
Everyone's going to have their skepticisms whenever someone new takes such a big role like Batman. What are you saying, Cerebral?
Splendiferous is giving me shit in the chat. I'm not saying I'm the only one who's seen it, but because of my history with comic books and the fact that I'm probably older than you, I've seen that story told for all of the Batman villains numerous times. And so if they can bring something different that draws me in and doesn't make me go, oh, here we go again, he's going to do this and he's going to do that, it makes it interesting. And so that's all I'm saying, is the way they handle telling that story over again. Because remember, we saw that in the earlier Batmans too. I forget who was the Batman after that they actually brought in Two-Face, and it was Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
You know, so we've actually seen that story before, but Dark Knight did it in such a different way that it was interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all
that's
I
just
was saying there.
it. Every iteration of Batman so far has kind of been based off sort of a different writer or a different sort of comic line per se. It's, they're not all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Batman's had a lot of iterations right now. Hopefully, this is one that sticks for a little while because, geez, Louise, it's like seems like every 10 years, I'll reboot the character and cast somebody else. At least for Robert Pattinson, he's young enough that he could do this role several times and not be, oh my god, like I'm
Have
old
we
as fuck.
have we
You know?
heard of anything like him coming back for the role or anything? Has there been any talks about that yet?
No, I don't know anything yet. I don't think there've been any talks of any sequel. I think a large again depends on the box office draws for this one.
Yep.
But I don't know if he signed any contract for a certain term. Because it's funny, because after the third Dark Knight movie, Christian Bale basically said he wanted out and didn't really want to do it anymore. And it's kind of funny because after I think the Justice League movie first come out, there was talks that Christian Bale was like, yeah, I wish I hadn't stepped away from the role and actually expressed interest in donning the cowl again. So
The problem
Yeah,
is,
I'd like to
we've
see
talked
him
about this
again.
with other movies, is getting, if they use older actors to start the trend, all of a sudden those actors age out. You know, so I think that's also one of the good things about hopefully having Pattinson in there is they'll get a few movies out of him before he ages out, before he just can't do it anymore.
What movie is coming out with something to do with like the multiverse and actual Keaton playing Batman again?
that's a show. That's in the Flash TV show.
The Flash. Yeah.
The Flash TV show? Has that happened
No,
yet?
no. Well, and there's also a Flash movie coming out this year. There's a few more DC movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
So, Splendiferous, I need you to knock on Noof, man. It's his turn. He's feeling out of the loop, right? Like, do you like Noof? Because Noof's feeling left out of the being made fun of loop, man. Splendiferous.
Yeah, because you keep picking on me. I will put you on timeout. Trust me, I've done it.
And Smite. He's all over Smite tonight.
Okay. I got to see myself in the shower every morning. I have enough left. Oh, look at that weird fat guy.
My thing is when you going back to the film, when you skew the history of the films, like
Right.
we have seen with his parents' death, like when you start to skew or when you start to mess with what the history that everyone knows, that the fact that his parents died in an alley to the joke or whatever, like you start to lose fans right there real quick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think my last part with what a film needs, you got to end it with a good teaser for the sequel to the next film at the very end of the movie. You got to have a really good one of those, man, at the very end, like the icing on the cake. It's beautiful. Right. Oh my God, I want to see the next one. That's a necessity as well.
So who do you guys think this movie is ultimately targeted at?
Kissing up to him isn't going to get you on the show, okay?
Who do you guys think this movie, though, is really going to hit home with the most? The kind of new people that are sort of new into this, like people that really don't watch these movies that often, or because we see that all the time. When these movies come out, you always have that vocal audience, especially people that are hardcore into the comic side of things. Will degrade it for every little single aspect that they don't nail, or that it's not, the way they perceived it to be. Then there's just moviegoers that love it for what it is, a great cinematic experience. Like Paul, you said you saw the Uncharted movie, and perhaps the good thing for you was you hadn't played the game, so you didn't have this preconceived notion of how the characters were going to be or should be, or you just went in and watched a movie, essentially.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a fun little popcorn movie with, with total suspension of disbelief from the opening credits on. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that. I think this movie, you're going to get, of course, the hardcore comic book fans, the Batman fans, and you're not going to probably draw in a lot of the general public, at least at first, except you may actually get more of a female grouping a little bit because they're going to want to see Robert Pattinson in the outfit.
Right.
He's got his fan base that skews younger, so they're probably going to want to go check that out at some point. So maybe it'll open up to a wider audience if this movie does well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we'll see what happens.
Well, hey, they could have cast Daniel Radcliffe in the role too. I mean, it could have worked either way.
Hey, and Daniel
Huh?
Radcliffe will do nudes, so you know they'd be happy with that. So.
Ah, yes. Because hey, you got the guy from Twilight or the guy from Harry Potter. You know, they're both almost the same build and all that shit. And they're both British. So, yeah,
Are
crazy.
you saying Harry Potter's the same size as Robert Pattinson?
I think Daniel Radcliffe might be just a shade bigger. He certainly got a little bit more muscle, I think.
No.
Radcliffe, are you thinking about the right person?
Yeah, have you seen some of Radcliffe's movies in the last few years, dude? He jacked up a little bit. He's definitely put on a bit of muscle and stuff.
Huh. I'll
Yeah,
look that up.
he's had some fucking gritty movies. I watched a few of his. And I was like, damn, he's diversified his roles quite a bit.
Yeah, he
I'm pretty
has.
sure
He
he's
really has.
trying to do his best to probably shade the fucking Harry Potter image, right? So good on him for it, because unfortunately, like I said, he'll always be Harry Potter, whether he likes it or not. But that's just the way it is. And I think that's the thing. Either an actor embraces their first heritage and runs with it, or they let it crucify them and bring them down. We certainly know that. It can typecast you for a long time, and it's good to see Pattinson, obviously, yes, getting a variety of roles, and this Batman one could now lead him to other things too. So, but we saw like Christopher Reeve made it very clear that in the 80s, like he almost hated Superman because he was just so typecast in that role, no one could see him as anything but,
Well,
I think Mr. Xbot has a point in the chat. He said Radcliffe is like 5 feet tall. And when you're 5 feet tall, you look a little stockier than what you really are, I think, especially on camera. Camera adds 10 pounds, and when it adds 10 pounds to a 5 foot freaking tall dude.
Patterson's overly tall either. Is he maybe 6 foot even? He's not super tall.
Well, he's a whole foot bigger than the other motherfucker, man.
I'll tell you what, if Radcliffe is that short, maybe he could be the next Wolverine.
Who knows how tall he is? Anybody in the chat know exactly how tall Daniel Radcliffe? Maybe look it up, because I know like fucking Michael Keaton, that was one of his knocks, was he was short.
Yeah.
He was a short Batman. I think Michael Keaton came in at like what 5'8" or something like that.
I mean, if we bring this down south, I mean, you're talking about a foot difference. This is a game of inches we're talking about.
Patterson 6'2". Okay, so that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's an inch taller. He's an inch or two taller than me.
5'5". There you go. So he's about Stallone's height then. Stallone's a short bitch.
Yeah, when you're that small, you look a little stock. Like, I guarantee you put them side by side, Patterson's gonna dwarf little old Radcliffe over there. Little Radcliffe is gonna look like he's struggling to hold up that wand, man.
There we go, guys. The Gaming After Dark theory of the night. Who would win in a fight, Radcliffe versus Patterson?
My buddy's on Patterson. Let's go.
I think it depends on who has the bigger wand at that point.
No, Patterson's been in some fights, man. With a grill like that, you can tell he's been in some fights. He's got some experience under his belt.
Yeah. Old Radcliffe pulls his pants down. He goes, "Hey, look, my dick looks like Voldemort."
No nose and all.
No nose and all. Hey, we got a couple more super chats. Let me catch up to those guys real quick, because there's one at the top here. We got Mandingo McThickens. Who wants to read this one out? Let somebody else read it. Here we go. Mandingo McThickens, $5.
They should have cast a Ben Stiller version from the Dodgeball movie as Batman.
I would rather see Ben Stiller than Ben Affleck. I'll tell you that much right now. Fucking Ben Stiller, from that fucking Dodgeball movie, man, that was hilarious, man. When we
got Vic the Click coming in with $2. Who wants to read that one out?
Yeah, he's my pick for the next Wolverine. Who is he talking about?
I think he's referring to Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
No,
he would be the right height. That's what a lot of people are complaining about. Is he would be close to the right height. But yeah, I don't know if he could pull off the mean, angry side.
Vic, who are you talking about, man? Let us know in the chat. Who are you referring to, Robert or Radcliffe?
I'm pretty sure it was Radcliffe. I think
Robert's too tall. That's the whole thing people complain about. Is,
right. Well, either which way, those short guys can audition for the next Hobbit role.
Yeah, fucking baby Dick Radcliffe. I know being Wolverine. No, man.
How do you know he's got a baby dick? Did you go to England and watch him in that play where he flashed everybody in the theater for? Yeah.
I mean, he's 5'0".
Well, that's more impressive. You're 5'5" and you got an 8-inch wang, and you know it looks pretty good.
When you're 5'0", 2 inches looks really big.
Maybe they call him tripod. You know, who knows?
Yeah, right.
Two man says Jason Statham as Batman would be badass. I don't know. Jason Statham maybe as Mr. Freeze. That'd be kind of cool. What do you think?
Yeah.
Hey, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. How bad does it get? All those one-liners. Batman, I'm going to put you on ice.
Yeah, I could see Jason Statham. Did who played Hitman?
Well, the first Hitman was I got both of those movies too. It was
I gotta look Hitman.
oh fuck, I can't remember his name here now. Jason Statham would have been an awesome Hitman.
Yeah.
He would have been really
exactly.
cool.
That when I see him, I think the Hitman. I think Hitman.
Man,
That's because all white bald guys look the same.
No, but he's just got that whole he's badass. He got that whole he could beat the shit out of people. You know what I mean? Kind of deal. I love those movies. Crank that he was in. Oh my, Timothy Oliphant. Thank you, Mr. Xbot. Thank you for that. I say new people in the chat, man. They're always like worlds of knowledge up in here. Statham, isn't that the Halo guy? No, not sure who you're talking about there. Jerry Stiller is Batman.
Speaking of Timothy Oliphant, did you see that they may be bringing back Justified with what's his name, the director who did Pulp Fiction and all that stuff? Quentin Tarantino wants to bring back Justified with Oliphant as.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm a big Justified fan. Great show.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't actually that bad as a Hitman. I think I liked that movie better than the second one. They had two different Hitman movies, and I don't know. They were both like But anyway.
Ben Stiller, you know how Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson are in they're in movies together often.
Yep.
Owen Wilson is
Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
oh
Owen Wilson.
Stiller and Owen and Robin. Yeah, there you go. Batman and Robin right there. Holy fuck. That they should do a parody movie like that. I'd watch it, man. That'd be funny.
That would be good, man.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. God. A comedy spinoff.
Oh god,
that could work.
They could take it back to the '60s crap. I mean, the '60s show. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. You get maybe get Jack Black in there as one of the villains, or Robert Downey Jr. Because remember when he did that role in that military film with Ben Stiller? Oh my god, it was hilarious.
Jack Black as the Penguin.
Oh my god, he'd be awesome as a comedy penguin.
He would.
Oh my god, I can see him right now. Oh my god, that'd be freaking funny.
I could picture his actions and the mannerisms he would make and stuff as the Penguin.
Oh my god, yeah, he would be funny. Yeah, he would be funny. Damn.
He would definitely take it back to the old school Danny DeVito, you know?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's great.
A troll Danny DeVito.
Oh man. All right.
Danny DeVito can still play the Penguin, which is probably true.
Probably could. Yeah, you just whack some makeup on him. You probably look just the same.
You know what was funny about that movie with Danny DeVito as the Penguin? Like, I didn't get the sense that he was nearly as short as he really is. Did you guys get that?
You mean
depends on the way the camera panned out, but yeah, he looked pretty damn short to me. I don't know.
I didn't get that feeling that he was excessively short.
They had that big friggin' suit on him. I liked it when he was eating the fish and staring at the chick. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh god, the raw fish.
Wait, Xbox needs to do a MacGruber game. How would that work? Every level would end up with you blowing up. Okay.
You know what would be an awesome co-op game? An A-Team game. That'd be so cool. A driving level in the van, and then you got all the characters and that shit. That'd be awesome. Dan, 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 dan. Yeah. They're crazy. Yeah, Paul knows what I'm talking about. He watched all those A-Team shows back in the 80s.
Right. A-Team, Knight Rider. I watched all that 80s crap.
Oh yeah, baby. That was my jam. Love that shit. PA Rockets, baby. A pity the fool.
Jesse Darby said Kramer as the next Batman. What about Cletus as the next Batman, Jesse?
Cletus.
Oh,
You just bust into the room, Cletus be like, "Hey, fiddly-diddly. Yeah, you piece of shit, I'm gonna kick the teeth down your asshole, you Dingledorf motherfucker."
though I don't
Yeah.
think Cletus would be allowed within 50 yards of Robin. So
Cletus never makes it to any of the fucking things. Always drunk.
What would Cletus's bat signal be? That's what I want to know from the chat. What would Cletus's bat signal be? Because it wouldn't be a bat. It's some fucking
Probably be like a giant fish or something like that.
gotta be something hillbilly. Give me something good in the chat. What would his bat signal be?
It would be the silhouetted lady that's on the back of trucker flaps. You know, that would be it.
Yeah, Cletus trying to be intimidating. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Cletus would have the only Batmobile with trucker balls on it. Yeah.
Come on, yeah, come on, there, buddy. Try to hit me in the face. I ain't worried you'll hit me in the face because I got no teeth to lose anyway. But you got a nice set of pearly whites I could kick down your throat. Let's go.
A banjo. I'm thinking like a key. I'm thinking like a Keystone Light or something.
There you go.
Giant truck nuts. I like the nuts that hang off the back of.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing like batarangs, he's throwing basically like small roadkill at people. Like dead squirrels. What the hell was that? Squirrel, bitch.
Everything he ran over on the way to the crime scene.
Yeah.
Well,
how's that supposed to hurt? Oh, buddy, I tell you, in a couple of seconds, you're going to have a bad bout of the shits or rabies, one of the two.
No, imagine this scene. All right, so the bank's been robbed. They're you know, or they're robbing someone in an alley, and it's dark, and all of a sudden you hear fiddly diddly
comes down the chimney.
Fiddly diddly. You're in for it now, buddy. I brought Mama. I got Mama with me, and she's pissed off. That's right. She brought her home cooking with you, man. That give you atomic diarrhea.
Oh,
and the horn on the Batmobile is basically dueling banjos. You know.
Oh my god, man! This show has definitely gone off the rails. Oh my god, Cletus would make a better villain. Yeah, he probably would. Yeah, he probably would make a great villain. You tend to take pity on him. That's the problem. You'd be like, man, I can't beat up this guy.
He would have one hell of an origin story.
Yeah.
Cletus's
Batmobile would be a lifted 4x4.
Here's Cletus. It's Cletus as the Dark Knight in what do you call it in Christian Bale's voice.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, fiddly diddly, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get you now. Fiddly diddly, swear to me. All right,
He'd need to be chugging beer after doing that for very long.
Oh shit! Alrighty, so let's get into the next topic of the evening. I suppose Shadow Warrior 3 has come out today. I do believe it's even on PlayStation Plus. I don't know if it's in Game Pass or going to Game Pass, but a couple of years ago it was a kind of a popular game, came out sort of at the right time, but was very overshadowed by a lot of other games. And I have a high feeling that number 3 is going to be that as well. So they call it Shadow Warrior for a reason, because it's probably overshadowed by every other major AAA publication and every other shooter that's out there. But yet the game has a bit of a cult following, bit of a loyal following. I don't know if either one of you guys have ever played Shadow Warrior 1 or 2. Pretty good games. I heard that I was reading the review of the latest. It comes in just under 5 hours, I think, but it pulls no punches. It's balls to the wall from start to finish. Kind of, they don't mess around, keeps you going. Mad fights, a lot like Doom in a sense, right? But a little bit of an old school shooter. It looks definitely really cool. But has either one of you guys played it, or even the older games? Are you interested in this game? And I guess my other question for you guys is, like, here's another game, little bit of a lower budget, that sort of thing. Like, where do these games fit into the grand scheme of things? Are these publishers just happy that anybody plays it at this point? Because a lot of these games get left out in the cold and nobody really buys into them. Maybe it's their hope that people buy into them and spread the word and the game gets popular and eventually becomes a super mega hit. Because I'm sure the games aren't that bad. I only played the first Shadow Warrior and I quite enjoyed it, but I never did finish it. So where does this run in the grand scheme of things here?
I guess.
Well,
you're back. I thought you said you were going to go get a beer. That was quick.
Give me 1 second. Because what you just described is like the exact scenario where a game needs to go into Game Pass. Like it needs exposure. Not a lot of people. Like I haven't played the first two. I don't know. I know a lot of people that haven't played the first two. I know a lot of people that don't give a damn about this game. So it needs exposure. And Game Pass, Dealer said it earlier that, or maybe it wasn't Dealer, it was someone on RDX tonight. They were like, I think it was Fonz. He's like, those people who say, I'm going to wait for it to go on Game Pass. He's definitely talking about, I'm one of those people, man, and I'm one of the hardest violators of that rule. I'm going to wait till it comes to Game Pass. I do that so often. And you know what? This game, a key example of that. I'm waiting for that to come to Game Pass. And then because what game just came out onto Game Pass? And he said, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to Game Pass. Right. I didn't buy it. I was waiting for it to come to Game Pass, and it's coming. So it's like people are so mad when people wait, and it does come. And that Guardians of the Galaxy, that's coming to Game Pass soon. It has not been out that long whatsoever. So
came out in November. Yeah, came out in November.
Yeah, so that's huge. That's no time really in the grand scheme of things. It's still, if it's a car, it's still got its fresh paint on it, fresh coat of paint on it. It's still shining from the wax that the wax from when it's still got that new car smell is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the latest article or from last week, but apparently Square Enix said that game also fell short of sales expectations. So this is kind of two games in a row for them that they published from, the Crystal Dynamics heads, essentially. Crystal Dynamics and, because it was Crystal Dynamics, right? And this one was what? Eidos Montreal? Who did this one? Eidos Montreal? Crystal Dynamics did the Avengers, right?
Yeah. Well, we talked about that a little bit last week. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, this is two games now with like big properties attached, and that's the thing. That's the part that's kind of two big property games that in their own right should sell like gangbusters. One was ho hum and fell down because it was ho hum, and the second game didn't sell because what? Because it's Guardians of the Galaxy, or it was lack of marketing? Like what's the deal?
No, I talked about. Did I talk about this on Sunday's show? I think I did.
You may have.
I think it kind of got lost in the mix of all the other big crap that was coming out in November. And for them to say it didn't launch as well as they would have liked, it did well after that. It kind of started slow and picked up steam and picked up steam and picked up steam. So for them to sit there and say that, it's kind of disingenuous to the developer. I mean, it's like they dropped it right after Forza dropped. They dropped it right as Halo dropped. It's like things are going to get lost.
Right.
It's just that's the way things are going to happen. They really have to look at what Elden Ring did to Forza Horizon, the Forbidden West thing that's out now too. That everybody, it was out a week, and then here comes Elden Ring, and now what's everybody talking about? Elden Ring.
Right.
So they really are starting to have to watch when they release these things and stuff, because they end up burying their own games. I think it was disingenuous for the company to say what they said, that it made them bank, and now it's on Game Pass, and
right.
Microsoft gave them a chunk of change to put it on Game Pass. They will probably sell more copies now that it's on Game Pass because people want to buy it, get that Game Pass discount.
Right.
So I don't know what they're complaining about, seriously. You know.
Yeah, like when we talked about it last week, the whole point is for them to create a good game. They've done that. It's had more than its fair share of good reviews and whatnot, and people have talked positive about the game. That's all you can, as a developer, that's all you can do.
Yep.
Right? You don't have any control of anything else. You make the game. That's your job. You make it as good as you can. All right, you've done your job. To me, like Square Enix, they just got ridiculously high hopes, like too high. I swear, if the game doesn't come out and make them all rich as hell, Like it's a letdown to them. And I personally would hate to be under the umbrella of Square Enix, to be a developer working for them, and you bust your ass along with your whole team. You come out with a great game. It's reviewed excellent. And then your boss is like, you guys fucking suck. You fucking dropped the ball. What the fuck?
Yeah. What are you going to do, right? So my question, Titan, and not trying to get off the topic because obviously we're starting about Shadow Warriors, but with Avengers Guardians of the Galaxy, do you think it's unfortunate that it sort of came in the shadow, so to speak, of the Avengers? Do you think that also, I know this game certainly was not marketed anywhere close to the Avengers, because the Avengers, people were talking about that game like 2 or 3 years up to release. We saw little trailers and we saw lots of commercials and we saw lots more advertising. Guardians slid literally under the radar, kind of just like fell out of the blue, landed in the middle of October, squished around a bunch of great releases. And then again, it had the unfortunate sort of, maybe people were like, I don't know if I want to buy Guardians because it's published by Square Enix and it's made by Eidos Montreal. And we saw what Crystal Dynamics kind of did with the Avengers, and it kind of made it a monetized kind of game where it was more about adding crap to the game than the game itself.
The difference is that was an actual ball drop. They actually fucked that up. Okay. And the thing is, that was probably from above, right? They probably got the order, hey, we need you to make this type of game. So they made that type of game. And I think that we could all say that that's kind of the direction of that game is what fucked that game up. Mm-hmm. It didn't have the best graphics. They were all right. Didn't release with the next gen patch right away. I remember that. Mm-hmm. But I remember when that came to Game Pass, I played it with my family and we tried to group up and it was a mess. It was like, it was so hard to like get in a co-op match and like understand what was going on. And like, you're in this fucking place and you're like looking where to go. That's abysmal. How, like, the way they set everything, from the way they set that up, from setting up a match to the gameplay itself. The gameplay itself wasn't fantastic in any way, shape, or form. You said it yourself, like you're the Hulk. You've said in the past, you're the Hulk, and you got to hit a guy 3,000 times. That's just not. It's just not realistic.
It just like you played the old Hulk games on the old Xbox, and you were literally like destroying cities with Hulk smashes and jumping from buildings. And in this game,
And in
this game, you're just like, little dude walks up to you with a stupid shield, and you're like, I gotta hit you like how many times to beat you? Like, come on, man, the Hulk will rip these guys to shreds. That's like, in the Superman always, he punches like a regular guy, and you're like, dude, if Superman really punched a regular guy, either he needs to flick him with his finger, because I'm pretty sure if he draw it off and nailed the guy, there'd be nothing left of your face. The guy can destroy a building by flying through it. So I don't think beating somebody up is going to be an issue for Superman. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of ruins the illusion.
So there's a difference between, dropping the ball like that game did and this game coming out with great fanfare and it just didn't sell well. There's a huge difference between the two because to Square, they're both letdowns. But in reality, only one of them was a letdown. Now, your question to me was, is it unfortunate? I gotta say no, especially for me, because all I care about is that it comes to Game Pass and saves me money. Let Microsoft pay for that game to come to Game Pass, and then I don't gotta pay for it out of my wallet. So is it unfortunate, to answer your question? For me, hell no. What about anyone else? What about it, the chat? Does anyone else think it was unfortunate? Maybe for a different reason that I'm not thinking of, because I'm being selfish here. I'll admit that.
Yeah,
I'm being selfish.
I'm a little off topic, but I guess my question really came down around Shadow Warriors. Like, Shadow Warriors is getting pretty good reviews, but again, some of the slamming is more of the same. But yet we see passes for other games when it does more of the same. They're like, it's more of the same, and that's a good thing. So it's like a picking and choosing of reviewers, where more of the same for a certain type of game gets passed, more of the same for another game it gets slammed. It kind of drives you nuts because you never know where this lands. And obviously, if they got 3 games, the other 2 must have been good enough to warrant making a third sequel. And how does a publisher, even sell this game anymore? Or what's the expectations for games like that? Not just referring to Shadow Warriors as a whole, because it comes out, it gets lost in the shuffles. Like I said, Sir X it always gets good reviews. But that's the thing. Even if Shadow Warriors came out today, whatever, tomorrow, and it gets 10 out of 10, nobody's going to play it. Nobody's going to care. So, like, there in itself kind of lies part of the problem. Lots of people are jumping into Elden Ring, even more so than usual, because it's getting amazing reviews. Some are very warranted. Some come from longtime Dark Souls players that love the game, and they can justify why they give it a 10. Other people, it sounds like, like they don't really know why they're going to give it a 10. They're just like, this game seems awesome because it's got an open world now, so let's give it a 10. But yet, it's pretty much the same formula. It's not the most graphically amazing game in the world. It's very good and very competent, but there are better looking games out there. So where does Shadow Warriors or any publisher making a game like this even fit into the grand scheme of things? They just got to sit second tier and be happy that they end up in Game Pass or something because nobody's going to give a shit because there's no marketing. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, did they... when they pick their release window, you got to see the games that are potentially releasing at the time. So they must not have thought Elden Ring was going to do as good as it has. So it doesn't look like they've done their homework because all their games have reviewed well, and then this one is just taken off like a skyrocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one got Game of the Year that they made?
It wasn't just Elden Ring. It was Horizon Forbidden West. It was a week ago.
Yeah, that's forgotten about already. Seems like.
Yeah, we're forgetting about the headlights out there.
Last week, my whole time was Horizon Forbidden West. I saw Aloy everywhere. All of a sudden, it's like, did that game even come out or something? Because who the fuck is talking about it? Nobody's talking about it now already. Like, what the hell? 1 week.
Yeah, and now Noof has to mute the words Elden Ring on Twitter.
Oh my god.
The thing is, like, it depends where it releases on as well. Whatever game you're talking about, it depends on where it's going to release on. Because people, if you think there's not bias in the gaming industry, I couldn't imagine seeing life through your eyes. Because you're obviously turning a blind eye to a large portion of what's going on in the gaming media. Okay? Let's take this one. If Elden Ring was an Xbox exclusive, let me know in the chat what you think it would score. Because if this was an Xbox exclusive, I don't think it would be over a 9.1. No way. No way. Especially with when it came out, the multiplayer on console not working, not up whatsoever. They would get smashed for that. Guaranteed. But since it's a multiplat, it's gonna get away with some stuff. It's everywhere, so they're gonna, and then there's the performance issues.
It was only on Xbox. I can tell you right now, the game wouldn't be at 97 meta. It'd be probably at like dog it up, probably 88, probably a good 10 points down.
Maybe, yeah,
easy.
Especially we haven't even talked about the poor performance.
Well, have you ever looked at every time they do a PS5 version versus Xbox and they do the reviews, and most of the time they can't even tell you the technical difference. They just give the Xbox one automatically gets 2 or 3 points lower. I think if you actually look at that right now, I think the Elden Ring on PS5 sits at like your 96, 97, and the Xbox one is several points lower. It's the same freaking game, and it runs virtually identical, but one is points lower. Go figure that one out.
And the funny part is it actually runs better on the PS4 than on the PS5. How the fuck is, like, come on, who fucking uses their brains in this fucking world? Because I don't think anyone does anymore. It just doesn't make sense. Let me go get a beer after that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Oh, the ghost of Titan Drago. What the heck? That was so funny. That fucking background, just a mag just staring at us all. I am coming to kill you. There are no more secret walls here.
That is so, that's just weird.
Oh my god. Look, at the end of the day, it's apples to oranges. It's small things in the grand scheme of it, right? The game is good, and that's all that matters. People are enjoying it. That's okay. That's at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to. I've stressed that. But like I said, even our good friend Ash and Luca, taking a lot of crap on Twitter just because she said she didn't really care so much for the open world aspect of the game, and
I
she
know.
got
God
lambasted.
forbid. Yeah,
And
God
and
forbid you
Luca
should
is one of the
talk
most
bad about a game.
diehard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's one of the most diehard Souls players out there. That girl has pumped hours into games. She's
Yeah.
finished multiple times. Like that she's not the person you want to be chewing up when they're giving an opinion on it, because she knows the game better than probably 90% of the players out there, right? God bless Luca, you're awesome. Stick to your opinions, girl. Don't worry about the haters. They're a bunch of idiots. Just like the idiot that jumped on my neck after this past weekend on Good Morning Xbox just because we had a couple of opinions. But God forbid. Well, you didn't play the game. No, I didn't play the game, and I don't need to play the game to know it's not for me. I've played the former games. It's virtually the same. But I never got on my podcast either. I didn't play the game, so I give it a 6 out of 10. Okay.
Hey, Bearded Banga, I don't think as far as Game Pass releases go that Phil gives a shit when Sony's releasing a big game, because he doesn't care. It's going to Game Pass whether it gets played or not. It doesn't affect him. It's there, and it's not just there for a month. It's there for at least 6, usually longer. So I don't think they look at that. I don't know what their schedule is like, but I don't think they look at what big releases are coming out, because we've had some big Game Pass games drop when Xbox has dropped really big titles. All this winter, November through this now has been a heavy Game Pass game, even with all the big titles dropping. So I don't think that plays into it at all.
Yeah, well, also too, I think as well, didn't Game Pass normally, or they were supposed to have some bigger games? Wasn't Stalker originally supposed to come out around February, March?
Yeah, Stalker was supposed to be out already. Now, because of the stuff in the Ukraine, we may never see Stalker, sadly.
No.
And I'm not going to be like some of the idiots I've seen on Twitter that are bemoaning the fact that they may never see the game and not realizing why we may never see the game is a really crap situation for everybody involved.
Yeah, we just want the developers and their families to be safe. That's all we care for. At the end of the day, the game is secondary. If it comes out, it comes out. If it doesn't, they got a damn good reason for it not coming out. That one you can't even look at and go, okay, there's no. There's a frigging war going on in their backyard. So I think we'll definitely cut them some slack. Right.
But yeah, some of the delays did punch a hole in their initial schedule. I know it did. But as they get things rolling, we are going to have these areas where they're going to, all of a sudden we're going to be game heavy probably by the end of this year again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much they can do with that, Jason. Because I'm sure a lot of us have thought it, but what makes the devs so important to relocate them compared to all the other refugees and people that are becoming, are losing their livelihoods and everything, and what now they're going to go through for the next little while. So it sucks all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yep. Totally.
Oh, a large reason why Xbox has scored a lower meta than on PlayStation is because reviewers are reviewing games way more on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to think, why is that? Right? Why don't publications either review on both consoles, or if they want to only play on one console all the way through, then fine. At least have someone test for bugs on the other console, because common sense is going to tell you, which they don't have, but I'm here to tell you, common sense will tell you either the Series X is going to run the game better than the PS5, or when the next gen patch hits, the Series X will run it better. Yeah, and don't give me that crap about haptic fucking feedback. If I gotta hear that fucking reason one more fucking time, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I will say that part of the reason they probably can't check it out on both consoles or whatever, or consoles and PC, is because we already know that sometimes they don't get their copies until right before the deadline. Which I don't know if we've talked about that, but I agree that. They're all trying to make this deadline to be the first one to review it instead of actually going through the whole damn thing, So part of that is because they don't get their version of the games until a week or two before it's supposed to come out. And on top of their real jobs or whatever, they're supposed to finish this, 300-hour game. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's and it's not always about the marketing either, because You know, because we've seen this in the past too, where even Xbox had the marketing rights on a game, and the freaking reviews were coming out on the competing platforms. You're like, huh? What? You're reviewing the other one, but yet they have the marketing rights to it. Like, I mean, part of it's because, you know, when they get these developer copies, it's shipped from the developer. I mean, they obviously have a bigger history with PlayStation, so that plays a huge part into it. It's, you know, it's the game that's known with PlayStation, right? It's most of their games were exclusive to PlayStation up until recently. So I do understand part of it, but it's just kind of funny. There's a big discrepancy, even in the sales right now. It's really weird. Like there's something like in the UK, like 80% of the sales are on PlayStation, 17 something on Xbox, and then like 3% on PC. Like that's kind of weird.
And those numbers aren't official.
But is that just physical sales, right?
Physical sales, and they're not even really official. And it's like, but they make a big play about that, and it's like that's meaningless, you know.
It really is. Yeah, I've seen that about a handful of times this week.
Yeah.
That's another fucking old, played out, dumbass narrative. That's one I block people over. It's so fucking stupid. How many times has it been done already? It's because it's not new. Like if that was new, I'd be like, all right, you're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But since I've seen it so many times, it's like not only are you an idiot, but you're a fucking a recycling idiot. So get the fuck off my timeline.
All righty. Well, anyway, as far as the Shadow Warrior goes, and I hope people do come out and give it a chance and play it, whether it's your PlayStation Plus or perhaps Game Pass when it comes there. They're great little games. They're definitely a fun romp. Good, competent shooters that perhaps deserve more love than they get, but they do have a bit of a cult following, as you've seen even by the chat here tonight. I've only played the first one and I did enjoy it, but there's just been so many games out, man. Like I haven't played a lot of other great games, let alone the Shadow Warriors ones. It's just unfortunate because there is so many games now. The timeline is crazy. It's like doing a podcast now. Like, where do you put a podcast in and not kind of podcast over some of your friends or podcasts that you like? There's only so many hours in the day, especially if you're a working guy, and you can't go away too freaking early. No one's going to watch. You can't go away too late because no one's going to watch. This one's already pretty late, which is part of the reason why our numbers always stagnate on this one, because it's late for people apparently. Either that or we're just boring. I don't know what it is, but you know, but yeah. So anyway, I just wish the game all the best and hopefully it does well and all that stuff. Because, you know, like I said, it only takes one game to come out and light the fire into people, and then the studio goes on to bigger, better things, right?
Yeah, and the studio, I sure hope they realize that Game Pass is the answer for them for now and in the future. It's an automatic paycheck. Whenever they throw it on there, it gets, you know, and then it'll get people talking about it. Definitely don't, you know. And all right, so maybe they planned this out. Let's say they were smart about this and released it by Elden Ring. Let's say they knew it was going to be Elden Ring was going to be a huge success. So they plan it out to release this. They know it's going to get poor reception, and then they put it on Game Pass when there's kind of like a lull in the industry. That would be a good play.
Yep. And
yeah, when is there a lull?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They're getting harder and harder to find, ain't they?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you said, we take the indie games for granted, but the indie games basically carried most of last year. I mean, frig, they had so many great games out. It was insane.
Well, yeah, it's like just because it's an indie game, you know, they get such a bad rep. Man, I can't tell you how many hours I poured into the thousands of random indie games ever since, you know, the back on the 360 era when you know, the summer of indies or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I heard someone say though, like if you look at the Switch marketplace, it's actually become a problem because there's actually so many now. It's super hard to weed through the really good stuff, and there is a lot of shovelware. Trust me, there's for every great indie game, there's probably 10 that are either knockoffs or just really poor, and you're just like,
Steam is like that. Yeah, the Steam marketplace is like that. There's a lot of crap on Steam.
You know, there needs to be more quality control somewhere because some of the crap that they're putting up for sale is crazy. I mean, in fact, even somebody jumped on, was it charge you for a calculator or something? Was it? I'm like, are you kidding me?
By the way, there was a super chat up there that we wanted.
Yes. Okay. There's literally I think on the Switch or whatever you can buy this game. It's just called Calculator. It's like $2 or $3 or something. Like, who the frig would buy a calculator? Oh my God.
There's one on your phone for free, man.
Yeah.
So
Sir X-Man drops $2 in the super chat. Let me bring it up here on the screen. Our good friend Sir X-Man. Go ahead, Paul.
Let me get my
Okay.
switch. I mean my calculator first.
I love my guns and swords in Shadow Warrior. Facts.
Is facts. Yeah, see, like Shadow Warrior. Yeah, it's a pretty good game. Like I said, it's pretty cool. I'm glad that it's out. I didn't even know they're making the third one, honestly. It's just crazy stuff, but that's how it goes sometimes. Who remembers Outpost Kilioki? I certainly don't. Somerville. Yeah. We just got to it, Sir X-Men, and thanks for the reminder, bro. Appreciate it. And it was good to have you on Good Morning Xbox this weekend, man. It was a lot of fun. Hope to have you back in the near future. Yes. Gotta admit, if there's Jesse there, we gotta admit if they're selling 3 games for $49,999. I don't even sure he's got. All right, there we go. We're just about at the end of the show. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to bring up? Any topics or subjects in light of anything that perhaps we kind of missed? We didn't, like I said, the topics are a little bit on the light side tonight, but we were able to make a pretty good conversation out of everything.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good. I don't have anything else I want to.
All righty. So I guess before we go, we'll have a chance to take some questions for, these two characters, Cletus and Safe as Sam. Won't make it too long. A couple questions from either the panel or the chat. Who's got some questions? Either one.
I got one for Safe House. Safe House, if if you were going to develop a game, what would it be about and what would you call it?
Hey, man, what's going on? Let's see that Sam up in the house over there. Let me tell you, I'm going to be like this, okay? My game would be fucking simple. Real fucking simple for you nitwits out there. It'd be called Blasting Them Twitter Fools. That's what it'd be called. Blasting Them Twitter Fools. And it's the whole fucking enemies are nothing but little keyboard, little bitches that look like little fucking trolls. I have them trolls with these little keyboards and they're coming down the screen and you got a big old fucking gun and you just blast them. But the thing is, they score points. If they get to say something stupid, you don't shoot them, you get a point. So you got to keep it going. You got to keep shooting these motherfuckers before they say all these stupid shit because they go little speech balloons, right? And they go to overcrowd the screen. What's going to happen? You don't shoot enough of them. All that stupidity is going to come down and smother you. It's going to stick to your ass like fucking shit on a fucking rabbit. And you want to get rid of these motherfuckers. So that's going to be shooting the Twitter fools.
That's right. That propaganda is going to spread. Then you got more enemies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You just keep multiplying the fucking stupidity. That is your main enemy is fucking stupidity. Unfortunately, I'm going to warn you now. You can't beat fucking stupidity. Because like I said, you can argue with smart people. You can't fucking argue with stupid. Because they too dumb to fucking know when they're wrong. Goddamn cockasses. Fuckers.
So what you're telling me is you can't argue with Cletus.
No, you can't fucking argue with that fucking Cletus either. Might as well smack yourself upside the head with a frying pan and hope for the goddamn best. Because honest to God, sometimes you know what Cletus is? Cletus is like a fucking lobotomy that walks. Is what that motherfucker is. I don't know about goddamn fucking abortion that someone kicked back out of the can. When his mama tried to get rid of him, he fucking came back. The devil wouldn't even take that son bitch. His soul went to fucking hell. Turn around and get the fuck out of here, stupid motherfucker. You're too dumb for down here. You got to bring the IQ in hell down to 0 down here, bitch.
The IQ in hell.
All right, we have another question for Safe House Sam. If Cletus was Batman, would you be his Robin?
If Cletus was fucking Batman, well, ain't happening. There's no fucking way I let Cletus down a goddamn cow. I would have let that motherfucker down a diaper, let alone a cow. You stupid ass motherfucker. No way, man. Cletus, the only fucking thing he's interested in saving is probably his own fucking, probably his pigs. Because if he didn't have a pig to fuck, he'd be nothing. That's why he go home, he cracks a bottle of beer, and he fucks a pig. That's how he gets rolled. That goddamn so bitch, that's how he do. Yeah.
And Safe House is popular tonight. Safe House, are you going to be boycotting vodka?
Who the fuck drinks that shit anyway? Looks like water, but it tastes like fucking fire in your throat. I don't really give a shit about vodka. I certainly don't give a goddamn rat's ass about no Russian vodka. You can send that shit all the way back, baby. It's all about the whiskey in my household. I'm about the whiskey. We gotta get down and dirty with the whiskey, baby. I don't care about that vodka. No, it's only good for Latin fires.
And I think Cletus probably makes his own bathtub gin. So.
All right, it looks like we got a question for Cletus from Sir X-Man.
Yep.
Sir X-Man, how would you feel about an Elden Ring XXX?
Well, he fiddly-diddly. Yes, an Elden Ring would be real cool if it was triple X rated. Yeah, I could have all the characters would be naked. Because you know what? At least if I'm going to die, I'm either going to die horny or I'm going to die laughing. One of the two. So that's what I would do is I'd make a pornographic Elden Ring with super hard bosses. And you know what I mean by hard? Viagra hard, baby. They come at you with big dongs and big shaggy titties. Yeah, that's what I would have. I'd have a really fucked up game. People would definitely like playing it. Yeah, I'm going to die. I might as well die happy, baby. I was sitting underneath this big old mama with the big floppy boobies. She's down in my face. Yes, indeed.
Draven Arrow says, Safe House, are you boycotting vodka?
I'm boycotting every goddamn thing. You know what? The only thing that's good that's Russian is me when I'm rushing to take a shit. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to take a shit in a couple of minutes because I feel like that's how my voice got like this because I've been constipated for years. And if you've been constipated as long as I am, you're going to sound like this too. Because after a while, if the shit ain't going down, it must be coming up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. No, man, I don't give a shit. I don't even want to get into the politics. All I want to say, all you fuckers in your crate, you keep at it, man. You fucking keep rocking. You stay your ground, baby. You stay your ground, just like I'm going to do. I stand outside my door. I'll be naked. Nobody coming next to me.
What, is all vodka made in Russia?
I don't know what the fuck it made, man.
Only
I
the
don't
good
care. Coggages.
Bearded Banga.
Cletus, I just got an image in my head. So since we're talking about Russia a lot and everything, you know how Rocky trained in Russia or whatever.
Right.
So if you were Rocky, Cletus, and you made it to the top of the mountain, what would you scream out instead of Drago? What would you be screaming out? Cletus.
Well, he's fiddly-diddly. Yeah, well, if I got to the top of the mountain, first of all, he's goddamn happy I actually made it up there. That's first of all. So I'd probably be up there sweating my biscuits. But I get to the top of the mountain, I'll be saying, yeah, I'm on the top of the mountain. I'll be super happy, baby. Yes, I would. That's all I know. I'll be happy. I'll be screaming my lungs off. As a matter of fact, I'd probably whip my dick out and be super happy. Maybe I'd jerk off on the top of that mountain up there.
All right. I think
wait, one more. Cletus, what's more fun, playing Elden Ring or playing with your sister's ring?
If anybody knows, if you had to watch anybody, especially if I got to watch Noof Nukem when they're playing the Elden Ring, it's not a very pleasant experience, okay? Not good at all. Because he gets pretty pissed off. He turns all fucking kind of treeway colors up in here. He's like a red stop sign. His face go red. He wants to smash shit. No, so I don't know, man. I'd rather play with my sister's fucking ring-a-ding, or maybe she can play with my cock-a-ring. Yeah, I don't know, man, but I'm not really into them crazy ass hard games, you know what I'm saying? Because life is already hard enough. I don't need to be swearing and getting all uprighty when with a video game. Video games are supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like sticking your finger in an asshole. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be fun.
So I'm assuming have a lot of other players left signs and telling you where to go on your sister? Is it a secret?
I've come. It seems like every time I took a wrong turn, I get to a wall to be something like, "Hey, Cletus, go fuck your sister." And hey, the fuck today? I don't know what's going on. I didn't even know I'm playing this game, you know. But hey, you want to go co-op with me? I'm ready to go, baby.
There you go.
Before we go, I got to know Cerebral Paul, how many times have you felched in your life?
Never.
All righty. Great questions tonight from everybody. Thanks to Cletus and Safe House Sam for coming here. Great stuff, guys. We're going to get ready to get out of here. Obviously, all the topics are done. And it's been another dynamite show, as it always is when Cerebral Paul comes on here. So let's get out of here. First of all, to the chat, you guys are amazing. Most of you have stayed for the duration of the show. Some had to leave early, but that's okay. And to all those catching this on the replay, thank you very much. Jason Max in the chat, good to see you here. To anybody that's new, please hit that like, subscribe button, guys. Appreciate it. As I said, the super chats are always appreciated, but never expected. As you know, here anything goes on this podcast, and I appreciate each and every one of you for taking either a minute out of your time or the whole couple of hours to spend it with us. It means the world to us. You folks are freaking amazing. Ham Solo, what's going on, brother? Good to see you here. Spider-Man 356, Chase Jones, everybody hanging out with us. Bearded Bangit, Dipka, man, the list goes on. So many great people. Timothy Dix, Dougie, woof, woof. Tony Grasso, good to see everybody here. Again, thanks again. Vic the Click, Splendiferous, Casket Repair. Caitlin, what's going on?
I was going to say, look who popped in right at the end. Yeah.
No, she must have heard Cletus. He came in for the Cletus. That's what it was. Yes, Cletus and his sister Clitorius. Oh shit! All right. Anyway, so night to everybody. Have fun. Get back to playing some games, whatever it might be. Anyway, so and Gone Mad says anyone needs help on Elden Ring, hit him up. Same name on Xbox. Gone Mad. Do that. Go do it. You've been lurking for a while. Well, thank you for lurking. Yes, we always appreciate the lurkers. But anyway, and we're going to get out of here. And let's start with our fantastic guest, the one, the only Cerebral Paul, who you will catch again with me next Sunday on Good Morning Xbox. Paul, let people know what's happening the rest of the week and where they can find you.
All right, so you can find me on Twitter at Cerebral Paul 1, Twitch and YouTube at Cerebral Paul. So tomorrow I have Midweek Gaming on the Stubcast channel. Thursday I'm doing another doubleheader. I'm doing 4GQ TV on their channel, because they actually have their own channel. So there you go. And then I'm also going to be with Mike Mullins and the boys, and over there on his show, the original Next Level Gaming. And then of course Sunday with Noob. My big thing is Monday during the day. I'm actually starting to be an Xbox Ambassador show host. So I will have my first official stream with them starting Monday afternoon.
Nice.
So if you want to go to the Xbox Ambassador Twitch page and just grab it there, and you'll see when I go live. Let's see, what time was it? It's 1 o'clock Eastern. That's 6 o'clock UK, and you guys are probably still asleep over on the West Coast. No, I think it's 10 a.m. on the West Coast. But yeah, I'll be doing that show weekly, and my first run through the game is I'm going to be running the Tales from the Borderlands, because I haven't played it yet, and of course we have Tina's Wonderland, or whatever her name is, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, coming out at the end of the month, and I'm looking forward to that. So I figured this would be a good way to lead into that. So yeah, please join me next Monday on the Xbox Ambassadors channel.
That's great. Just over on the on Twitter, just before I go, I see it's coming in from Vic the Click. He's the first time listening. He got to share them laughs. Thanks to Pong Soul for the tweet. So there you go, guys. That's how it works, right? We got a new visitor to the show, all because of 1 or 2 retweets, and that's how it works, and that's what means a lot. Like, liking is great, appreciate the likes, but man, sometimes that retweet goes a long way. It brings in new people that have never experienced this podcast, and they become longtime listeners, and then that's what it's all about. So
either that or they block you because you shared this shit. So yeah,
one of the two. Yeah, one of the two. Are you crazy? You follow that guy or you watch his show? You must be weird, man. Well, we appreciate it, man. It means a lot. So thanks to that for Pong Soul for sharing that out. Because if we got one new viewer, then that's amazing. So again, hit that like, share it out to your friends, get more people in here, man. So yeah. But anyway, let's get down to Titan Drago and his mistress in the back, Mr. Hedwig. But anyway, Titan Drago, the man who brings the common back to sense. Let people know where they can catch up with you, brother.
Yeah, I got my bitch back behind me. But no, the fading in and out kind of thing, that's pretty much representing how many times I died to this fucking boss. It took me a good 40 times to beat him. Like I said, I went in on him pretty early. I think I was like level 12. So
he's not like an end boss or nothing. He's kind of like early.
No, he's pretty early. He's very early, actually. He's like,
do you have to fight him, or did you run into him sort of at an accident and be like, oh shit? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. If you have to fight him, I would imagine you have to fight him sometime or other.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you got to get past that bridge to get behind it all. So I'm going to go ahead and say yeah.
But you can double back and build yourself up before you deal with them. So you're not forcibly
right. You can be intelligent instead of what I did. You could be intelligent and, go that route, or you can just, I needed to learn the game anyways. Cause, like I said earlier in the show, every time I died, I felt like I learned something about the game or about the timing. And that's huge. Timing is so huge with this game. It's critical, cause every boss is different and you'll learn those little nuances about the game and each boss and when to dive and when to duck, dip, dive, and dodge all their attacks and whatnot.
Admit it, after you died 40 times, you handed it to little Rocky and told you to get you past that part.
Yeah, right. My wife does that.
I think that's one of the reasons too I don't jive well with the games, because if anybody ever knows or seen me play a game or shooters, I have an aggressive nature. And I think that's one thing that does not work well in your favor with these types of games is aggression does not pay off very well.
No.
Definitely. There is a set way to beat these guys. And if you attack one too many times, you're getting slapped and you get one hit often or maybe two hit. You know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely got to take your time and kind of punch and counter punch.
I also find in boss fights that seem to be taking too long, even though you're not getting hit, you're kind of dodging and dodging and dodging, and then all of a sudden you start getting impatient because you're like, Jesus, you know what I mean? And that happens to me. Then I start getting that little itch, like, man, it's 10 minutes now I've been fighting this guy and got to get rid of this dude, and all of a sudden then you start making stupid mistakes. You start getting antsy,
Yep. But to get on out of here,
yeah,
as a gas bubble comes up my chest. The Common Sense Award for this week is going to go to Dreadpool for bringing the light to the real problems of the world, war and potential, impending doom from Russia. Anything gaming takes a back seat to the safety of people. So until next week, you can find me at everything at Titan Drago, especially, I'll be streaming Smite. So if you newcomers like Smite and you want to learn that, I usually stream that at least a couple times a week. But other than that, till next time, let's bring the common back to sense.
That's right. When you go to bed tonight, just be thankful that you're dodging bullets in a game and not in real life. So there you go. That's how it goes. And you know where to find me, guys. Always in the gutters, Noof Nukem, pretty much everywhere when I'm not hanging out with Titan and our amazing guests. And yes, we are still in seek of our third permanent panel member, but we are taking our damn good time with it. We'll make a decision when we feel it is due. Right now, we're just happy to roll with the punches and see where it goes. We've had amazing guests on so far, so it's going to be a tough call when we finally make it, but eventually we will. We'll go from there. Or perhaps me and Titan will just say, fuck it. We'll just keep the same routine we're running with right now. Who knows? But up until then, yes, when you're not catching me here, you can catch me with Cerebral Paul and company on Sunday mornings. Good Morning Xbox, which is 9 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Great little show, which is definitely a lot more PG than this one. Very filtered and thought out show, that sort of thing. So two different types of entertainment. And if you haven't heard already, and I put up a poll on Twitter, thinking about starting a PlayStation-centric podcast because I know Good Morning Xbox is mostly Xbox. This one's kind of a bit of everything. And, I've heard the community say there's not a lot of great PlayStation podcasts out there, essentially with people that actually want to talk about gaming and not just, a PlayStation podcast that shits on an Xbox for the 2 hours. Or vice versa, an Xbox podcast that shits on PlayStation. You know what I mean? So something a level-headed, So, yeah, I'm willing to start one up because I think I can be very level-headed about the PlayStation brand. I'll call out the foolishness, but I'll call it, I'll also give credit where credit is due, and I do love gaming no matter what plastic it is on. So I've had a lot of support for it, at least I think I do. And, again, I have a poll up on Twitter. I had three names in mind for the show, and that could change, but the three that I basically have was PlayStation Uncharted podcast. That one is well behind in the vote at 70.8%. PlayStation Playground podcast, which is leading at 47.7%, and PlayStation Primetime at 34.6%. So those are the three I had. Had a good one from Axel. He actually said I should call it the Haptic Feedback Podcast. I thought that was kind of cool. Actually, it was pretty funny. But anyway, nothing's set in stone. But if you want to go vote on that, we greatly appreciate it. And the support would be appreciated as well. If you just don't want to hear me talk about PlayStation, then I guess you just don't have to tune in. It is that simple. But yeah, anyway, appreciate all the support, everybody. This has been a dynamite show tonight, and we'll let you get back to playing some games or doing whatever it is you might be doing. So anyway, just don't do what Safe House Sam does. That's the main thing. Anyway, guys, everybody have a great night. Thanks for being here, Paul. Titan, awesome show.
Yeah.
See you all again next week.
Bye, everybody. Go see Noof on his pole. Oh, sorry.